So I'm somebody that hasn't played a WWE game in probably almost 10 years. This has been a very long time. My last WWE game, I believe, was WWE 2K23, which was a very long time ago, and now I'm finally getting back into it. My favorite wrestling games have been WWE SmackDown versus Raw 07. I did like 06. I liked 08. 09 was really strong and really featured like a lot of new features when it comes to like tag teams and things like that. And I remember 2010 was a pretty decent game also. But what I've always liked about these WWE games is that I love the character customization and just the overall customization that these games give you. The option to customize shows and all types of different things, and that is definitely in this brand new WWE game. I'm definitely looking at this game through a different lens than other people that have been with this series all the way from, you know, SmackDown versus Raw 06. I'm definitely looking at it from a different lens, so I'm getting to see all the upgrades, all the updates to all the features, the gameplay and stuff like that. I'm getting to see it right now. Of course, the first thing that you notice with this game straight away is the presentation is absolutely beautiful. When you look at the actual wrestler models, these look way better than what I'm kind of used to seeing. Usually WWE models kind of look like they have this glossiness on it. Well, that has completely been eliminated when you look at Randy Orton right now. I mean, he definitely has a lot better definition. There's not that glossiness that some of the older games carried when it comes to like wrestling models. That definitely isn't here in this new game. Also, the arenas, the actual ring, everything just looks absolutely beautiful, and I think to me this is probably the best WWE game in terms of presentation. This game has definitely became more of like a simulated experience. When you play the game, there's just so much that goes into the transition of moves and things like that. Especially there's not a lot of that botchiness that you get, that really weird clipping that you get when you have two models or two characters or wrestlers trying to fight each other and trying to grab each other. Like, you don't have that clippiness or that botchiness anymore. There's a lot of smoothness to the gameplay, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoyed it. To me, this is definitely the best gameplay that 2K probably has produced when it comes to a WWE game so far. And a lot of that, like I said, a lot of that botchiness is gone. You'll have two wrestlers trying to grapple each other, or like maybe like one of them is trying to swing and the other one's trying to grapple, and it doesn't really detect it well. But in the game, this game in particular really kind of detects that, and it really smoothens out the experience for the player. There's just so many ways that you can dismantle your opponent in the ring in WWE 2K23. I'm pretty sure this is probably in 2K22, but there's just so many different ways. When you look at like the moveset menu of all the wrestlers, or even when you're creating a wrestler, it's like, oh my god, there's just so many options, and it's like they just piled on all the options that Ukes was doing back in the day when they were doing SmackDown versus Raw. It's just so much, and there's so many options, and to me, more options the better. Another thing that I really like about this game is the crowd reaction to what is going on in the ring, and I think it's just one of the things that really immersed me into the game. Now, the crowd reacts to like a lot of things, like big slams, and when people are going up to the top rope to jump off of it, and they react to so many things. And what I found when I'm playing the game is like, it kind of helps the momentum of matches, and it kind of feels like maybe like when the matches come into a climax, you can feel that momentum get to that point in the match. And I think this is just really big in terms of like, you're not just sitting back just playing the match, you're kind of getting invested into it, and I really like that about this gameplay. One of the things that I've always loved about WWE games is the customization, and this game has so much of it. I mean, it's to the point that you can customize your menu pose, and I'm not just talking about like just pick one menu pose. You pick that menu pose, and then you can choose how your hands look, you can choose how your face looks, how your body is moving in the pose. I mean, it's almost to the point it's almost ridiculous that the game is doing this and the developers came up with this, but I love the options. I've always said like the options matter, and to give consumers and gamers the option to do all these extra customization things, I think it's cool. Of course, they still have creative entrance, create a, entrance movie, create a move set. All that stuff is still in here. So you spend 3 hours creating a whole wrestler and a whole persona, and that's one thing that I've always liked about WWE games too, is like they have so many random and crazy things that you can put on your head and you put on your body to kind of help you create these wrestling personas, because that's what kind of mostly what wrestling is supposed to be. You're supposed to have these weird personas and these weird gimmicks that people are supposed to be attracted to so you can be a popular wrestler. So I think it's always great that they add these things into the game. One thing I don't like about My Rise is when you're talking to other superstars, I feel like their mouths move really weird. I feel like the animations should be a lot better, especially for a game that's on PlayStation 5 and especially for a game that's in 2023. I would think that, we should be a little bit further along when it comes to facial animations, especially when you look at games like Horizon Forbidden West. Those games have amazing facial animation, and this game just doesn't care. It looks robotic, it looks weird, it looks like his jaw is gonna fall off his face. You can see here with Sami Zayn. I really just don't like it. I think it's kind of a little bit lazy on the developers here. So Universe Mode was a mode that just got kind of introduced when I was still playing WWE games. This Universe Mode definitely is a lot different. It's more in depth. A lot of the customization options are all there. You can create a show, you can add in a whole bunch of newer characters. Like you can add in a whole bunch of creative characters if you want, and just make your own new show and anything. You could do anything. It's kind of like the game describes it perfectly. It is a WWE sandbox at this point, so you can do whatever you want. Universe mode, whether it's the superstar mode where you can just play as a superstar and then you go through the matches that way, or you can just do it as a sandbox. You can just put yourself in any fights and any matches that you want and go for the title every week, or it doesn't matter, defend your title every week, go to WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, and I just really love this mode because it gives you all that freedom. I love Universe mode. It's still so good in this game. Showcase mode is back, and it focuses on John Cena's career. So you actually play as the opposition. You actually play as the people that have beaten him in his career, and you try to kind of, I guess, recreate those matches. He narrates these matches and narrates his opposition and his, the people that he's in these matches with, and you play as the likes of like Rob Van Dam, the Batista, the Undertaker, and you go through these matches. So if you're into Showcase, I'm not too crazy about Showcase modes. I love the legacy of John Cena and every other legacy that they're probably going to bring out. It's very similar to like NBA 2K, where like they've done one with Jordan and Kobe. I love those because they're paying homage to these amazing entertainers and amazing sports athletes, and I love, I like how 2K does that because they really are showing respect to these amazing athletes. I just think that I'm just not going to spend a lot of time in this mode, but there is an audience for modes like this, especially if you don't know about John Cena's full career. Of course, My GM is another mode that everybody is really invested in. When I was playing these games, My GM actually ended up getting taken out of the games from what I remember. I think maybe 09 was the last time it was in SmackDown vs. Raw. So it's good that it's back and it has all of its features back intact, because I think that was one of the biggest things that I did not like about SmackDown vs. Raw or the newer WWE games. Like, I did not like the fact that they taken away My GM. They just didn't do anything else. They didn't replace it. I think they replaced it with Universe mode from what I remember. Like I said, I'm going off of memory from like 10 years ago, but I think they replaced it with Universe mode, and Universe mode was very new and it wasn't what it is in this game. So I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of fell off of WWE games. But My GM is back. It has all of its full features. It's another mode you can spend hours in. My GM is you're trying to beat out your opposition show, and you're trying to get just the better ratings and just the better matches and things like that. And you do this over like a 25-week season, I believe it is. So it's really good. It starts off with a draft. It's very reminiscent of like anything you do in like a manager mode for another sports title or anything like that. So I'm glad it's back, but this was kind of, I believe this is one of the reasons, its absence was one of the reasons why I stopped playing WWE games. That has been my first impressions of WWE 2K23. Should you guys get it? Yes, I think so. I think if you played the one last year, you're gonna like the small upgrades. Yeah, I didn't really mention that, but there is some small upgrades here and there. I believe My Rise has changed a little bit. Universe mode has a few things. War Games is a brand new match type, and I played a little bit of it. It is absolutely nuts. War Games is crazy in this game. I mean, Sami Zayn kept getting on top of the cage and jumping. I was like, what in the world is going on? He did it like twice. It was crazy. But yeah, the small upgrades here for people that are coming from 2K22 to 2K23, there's small upgrades here and there. But for people that are like me, you've taken a little bit of a hiatus away from these games, you're gonna really enjoy what 2K is doing with the WWE license. I'm really enjoying this game. You guys should definitely pick it up. And there's a lot of sports games. I know there's a lot of sports games coming out this month, but definitely this one, high quality, really good game. You can put a lot of hours into different modes, and you can customize to your heart's content. My name is Curtis from the Seoul Dojo Gaming Channel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Cali from the Dojo, and you can also join our Discord in the link in the video description. We are talking about all types of video game topics, and it's just been really fun. I really like the people that we already have in there. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Seoul Dojo Gaming Channel, as we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting there. We are getting there. All right, you guys, I'll check you later. All right, peace.
Get your point across, get your point across. Get your point across, get your point across.